Hey guys, Zach here with Zen Construction, bringing you a new video. This is a full gut and rebuild of a full kitchen. So let's get into the video. Hey guys, Zach here with Zen Construction at the beginning of an entirely new project. We are really excited about this one. The before and afters of this are going to be incredible. This home is a little bit older. I would consider it somewhat historic, and so we're going to do our best to maintain some of the most historic features, but just bring everything up to the more modern era. One of the first things you'll notice is these beautiful hardwood floors. We're going to do everything we can to maintain the look and beauty of these hardwood floors. They're going to be sanded down, refinished, all new trim. But we're also going to take the hardwood all the way through into the rest of the main floor, and we're going to do everything we can to match the existing. I think it's going to be really cool when it's all done. The next thing we're going to do is actually widen this opening, move it over a little bit so it matches this big window on this side. The idea is to have nice light and flow, be able to go all the way through from the front to the back of the house. Work our way into the foyer, and I'm sure at one point in time this brick was considered really cool, and I'm sure some people still like it, but the homeowners want to again do that hardwood that comes all the way through. We'll work our way into the next living room, the second living room. Again, new hardwood that comes through here, and of course, like I mentioned, everywhere that new flooring goes, new trim, new paint, all that type of stuff. We'll work our way into the kitchen over here. So this door, we're actually going to shrink it down into a single door. Of course, it'll be brand new, but the idea is to have some room here for all new cabinets. The fridge is going to go here, countertop, and then with a little bit more space here, we're going to do a vent hood for the stove. This area over here, all these cabinets are built in. Lots of great storage. We're actually going to keep this, but the in-wall oven is going to stay on this wall over here. This kitchen is a decent size, but it kind of feels like there's not much flow. So again, in order to increase the amount of flow we have, we're going to get rid of this wall entirely. With this wall gone, we're going to be able to have a nice big island for entertaining, and again, more flow that comes all the way through into the dining room once we get through this wall. Of course, this soffit and everything is going to come out to add even more ceiling height and be able to have even taller upper kitchen cabinets, which would be great. And then again, hardwood in through the kitchen. We're going to make sure that we use appropriate finishes for more moist environments, like in the kitchen. But this project is going to be really cool, guys. There's going to be a lot of awesome content coming your way. Thank you guys so much for watching, but we had a lot of work to do, so we better get to it. All right, first things first, we got to get going with demolition. Getting all these existing cabinets out, all of the countertops, like old appliances. The only appliance that is going to be reused in this project is going to be the dishwasher. They're getting a new fridge, new in-wall ovens, a new range, a new microwave, a couple other appliances too, countertop style. So this wall that is currently being demoed has a pocket door in it. Luckily, this is not a load-bearing wall. The joists actually run, in this case, from left to right, so there's no bearing in any way. As you can see, just kind of some framing, pocket door framing is in there. Getting rid of this peninsula, the cabinets through there, kind of exploring what we have. We decided it would just be easier just to redo the entire ceiling, and then at one point we do end up going with soundproof insulation in the ceiling. So just a full gut, getting rid of all of the cabinets again, going through. You can see there's a water filtration system that we are going to hold on to for the homeowners so that they can have drinking water. You can kind of see just in this view right here, you can see all of the tile that goes into the kitchen with hardwood, and then there's the brick in the foyer. Taking down that soffit, that just came down nice and easy, kind of a big chunk. But of course, once we took the soffit down, we noticed a ton of electrical and different things running through all of that soffit that all needs to be dealt with at some point. So of course, we just tucked everything up in a way just to keep it out of the way. Trying to keep things as clean as we possibly can. Luckily, in this case, the homeowners did move out. They were not living in this house during the project. Next, going through and pulling all of the baseboard off. Like I mentioned, all of the hardwood is going to get sanded down and then patched and repaired in places wherever needed, and then new hardwood is going to get extended throughout the rest of the house. So the first thing we need to do is get everything that is going ripped up, including the baseboard and then all of the different types of flooring. Baseboard came off pretty easily. Luckily we are doing a much taller baseboard, so we didn't have to worry about repairing any drywall from nails or screw holes or anything like that. This tile was actually installed decently well, which pros and cons, right? Long term it's really great, really durable, but when it comes time to demo, it takes a while. So going through chipping everything up with a rotor hammer, continuing to pull out those cabinets, again being careful. A lot of the major structures as far as plumbing weren't changing all that much, so the location of the sink and the drains and all of that is relatively close. We did of course have those upgraded new drain lines, new water lines, new valves. Getting this hardwood ripped up, again another type of floor. This one was nailed down, and so of course there was tons of little nails, and the best thing that we found in order to get rid of all those nails is actually take a multi-tool with a nice carbide blade on it and just run it across the entire floor, essentially just clipping the heads of those nails off. That seemed to be the fastest way. Pounding them out or pounding them in or pulling them out just was way too time intensive. So just getting the multi-tool, going through, shaving off all those nails, made really quick work of doing that. Again, I'm a huge believer in getting the right tools for the job. I always invest in nice blades, carbide blades for multi-tools and sawzalls. Floor scraper was a great tool here, trying to get rid of all that thin set. This was a very intensive process. They had thin set directly on the subfloor, so of course we didn't want to have to do a ton of subfloor repair, so try to be careful when pulling up that thin set. Now going through chipping up the brick. This brick came up decently well, but of course we noticed that they actually had a recessed area here and poured like at least 2 inches thick of mortar or concrete. It honestly felt like it was a concrete base underneath all of this brick. So of course we do come up with a solution for that later. Luckily it is recessed down below about the height of the subfloor, so we do have a plan for that. And out here it is right now. Actually, so you can see we skim coated the entire surface in order to get it nice and flat, and then we took a nice heavy duty plywood, glued it down, put as much adhesive as we can for the plywood, and then went through with Tapcon screws, a ton of different screws in areas just to hold that down. The idea is that then the hardwood floor that is installed can have a surface to be nailed into. Here we are pulling out that double door. Luckily in this case the header obviously supported the entire span, so we just needed to add some little walls on either side just to kind of fill that space. It became a single outswing door. Now you can see there's about 2.5 feet or so on the right of the door, and that's a perfect place to fit cabinets and countertops in this case. It also widened the opening on the left, giving more room for upper cabinets. One of the things that we really wanted to do, the homeowner requested, was to move this window over, enlarge it a little bit, but we wanted to move it over. So you can kind of see out there right now there's a brick pillar that feels like it's just right in the middle of the view. They have a pool out back, so their hope was that if by moving the window over, it's kind of centered between 2 of those brick pillars and they can get a better view of the backyard. Of course this header needed to be extended and widened and moved over. What we actually did is we kept one post on the right side and then moved the bearing post over to the left. So essentially we just expanded the header and then filled in the space to the right. Tried to be really careful to preserve this siding, and didn't end up working out that way. We ended up going through and redoing all of this siding from that far window on the right all the way over to the new door on the left. So this does end up getting all new lap siding, matched perfectly well, and then goes through and gets painted. You can see that header, new headers going up and going in. The window did take a while. This was a custom size window with its own features, so it took a while to come in. So we do end up just covering with plywood for the time being until that window does show up, so that we can keep progressing going on with drywall. And here's another view of that header going in. Alright guys, you know the drill. So the next step in this process is going to be drywall. So before we get all the work we've done so far gets all covered up, I'm going to give you a quick little walk around, show you what we've done. So one of the first things you'll notice is how much wider this opening is. It allows for a lot more flow through here. If you're in the living room, dining room, the kitchen, everything feels like it flows a lot better. I think it's a great change. As you'll notice, all the hardwood floors are still here. The plan is still to refinish these, but we're also going to install new that matches all the way through the house. Once we ripped up this brick, We found concrete underneath, so we installed a subfloor over the top of that so that the hardwood can actually be attached to it. Since we've gotten going, we've actually had a change order. The homeowner changed their mind. We weren't originally going to do anything in this bathroom, but now we're excited that we're going to add new tile, as well as the ceilings in the bathroom and the rest of the house. They currently have this stomp texture. The homeowner decided they no longer like it, so they want to do more of a smooth finish over the top of that. So skim coated, sanded down, and then all of the new drywall will also be flat as well. One of the things you'll notice is throughout the entire kitchen space, we did soundproof insulation. There's actually bedrooms up above here, and so in order to dampen some of that sound, we added a rock wool insulation that'll help a lot with sound. It also is fire resistant, which is an added bonus. In this space, you guys will see we have a ton more room. This door has been shrunk down, so now we have room for cabinets, built-ins, and the fridge is actually going to go over here, which is super nice. We moved the window over a little bit. We also made it slightly larger, but now we have room for a big, beautiful vent hood that we're going to be building. Some more cabinets. The stove is going to go here. This area over here had built-ins previously, and it will have built-ins again. They're a little bit taller than they were before, so we actually just moved the header up slightly. But now that the wall is gone, the peninsula is gone, there's so much more room in here. It's going to feel significantly bigger. We're going to do over 9-foot island in this space, so it'll be tons of storage, tons of space to entertain and those types of things. But we got a lot of work to do still. Thank you guys so much for watching. All right, so here are some pictures of the progress that was being made with the new hardwood. You can see where they just were able to slide in some of the new into the existing. The vent work was really pretty, and then now these are the coats of finish as they were going on. They just went with a natural clear finish, did not do any stain, just kind of bring out the beauty of the wood. There's some really good detail shots of how it turned out. We were really excited. So now we're getting on with cabinet building. We often utilize an RTA style cabinet. The suppliers that I use do give me the option to send it to me flat packed. We really enjoy that. It saves a ton of money on shipping, but also allows us the opportunity to do any custom things that we need to do, which often we do have custom things. And in this project extensively, there is an in-wall oven cabinet that we essentially had to rebuild from scratch. Because it came in all of its pieces, we were able to do that significantly easier. Going through getting the base cabinets built first, drawer bases, all of the face frames and doors all come pre-painted, which is really nice. It does allow for some opportunity if you want to do custom colors because they're already all separated. You can just sand those pieces down individually and get them all changed out. We really like them. They have plywood edges, hardwood face frames. The drawers are all solid wood, dovetail, undermount drawer slides, soft close hinges. Of course, all of those things are required in anything that we install. I've been using these types of products for years and never had any issues. I really enjoy them. Getting the upper cabinets built, and now we're going on with setting them. The main focal point of this kitchen, obviously, was the sink. It needed to be centered on the window, so that is where we started. Kind of set that sink base cabinet and then worked our way across, leaving room for the dishwasher, leaving room for the oven. Garbage can pull out is there. Storage for the cookie sheets, and then of course just a ton of drawers. We really try to have any base cabinet does not have just standard cupboards. It has a drawer or a pull out just for efficient storage. Getting there, right there is the 24 inches that is required for a dishwasher with the drawer base on the left. That main bank of cabinets, like I said, was pretty crucial to the layout of the rest of the kitchen. Getting that drawer base over there in the corner set up. And now we felt like was the best time to get the island going. So this was a really fun project. The homeowner really wanted to make sure that everything was laid out perfectly. So prior to all of this, even prior to drywall, we actually laid out the island for her. We actually built a little box out of 2x4s and plywood so that she could see exactly where it was going to go. It was really helpful for us because we had no confusion. We knew the direction that we wanted to go. We were able to lay out lighting and switches and those types of things prior to all of this. And yes, we are putting the island on top of the hardwood. I fully understand that in some cases with flooring, this is frowned upon. However, this is real hardwood flooring. This was glued and nailed down, so there is going to be no seasonal movement, expansion, and contraction. However, if this was an LVP or a laminate, you would not want to put your island over the top of the flooring. Please understand, I am aware of what is going on. We know the types of products that we're using. In this case, the flooring is not going to shift or move or cause any buckling or issues like that. Do keep that in mind if you are putting a kitchen island in and you're using LVP or laminate or something like that that is a floating floor system. You do not want to screw your island in over the top of that flooring. But this turned out really nice. Like I said earlier, this is a 9-foot really big island. Now that all of the base cabinets are set, we can go through and start getting the uppers in. A big design element of this kitchen was where to put the fridge. They felt like they had somewhat limited space, but they needed a huge fridge. They have a really big family and wanted to make sure that they had all the storage that they would ever need. So we end up going with a shallow depth of just a 24-inch deep refrigerator. However, it is 48 inches wide, and that is the space over there on the right. So this upper here is going in as well as kind of its own like isolated space on either side of the window. And then last over here is the uppers that will go on either side of the vent hood. So now all the base cabinets and the uppers are in. We're gonna get going on the larger pantry cabinets and the in-wall oven cabinet. Again, you kind of see, these go together nice and easy. We use glue, usually like a really strong construction adhesive. We use screws and staples, and again, like I mentioned, we've never had any issues. You can see that cabinet went in the 48 inches of space. Next, as you can see here, we're getting going on building this custom vent hood. We just went straight to the paper on the ground that we used to cover up all the nice hardwood. Kind of drew the layout that we liked. We had a ton of inspiration pictures that we were going off of, sent from the homeowner. Built out this really heavy duty 2x4 frame that we can then just screw directly to the wall, nice and strong, and then we are going to wrap all of this in different products, MDF, cabinet grade plywood, so that it can all be painted to match later. This is the in-wall oven cabinet that was just there, and you can see we set everything aside so that it can just be completely cut up and changed around. Here's another pantry cabinet that is going to go inside that little built-in closet next to the in-wall oven cabinet. We decided to get the frame in, and you can see the vent coming in from the ceiling right there. That is where the vent hood is going to be attached, so it can be vented out through to the outside, up through the roof out there. Getting these two little 12-inch cabinets in, kind of creating like a built-in vent hood space. Just everything is going to be combined and symmetrical and look really nice. Again, like I mentioned, this is all completely custom. There's just a piece of MDF there that can be sanded down, primed, and painted later. Going with a trim piece, we used a little tool in order to make arc, so it looks really nice, fits the vibe of everything that they're going for, matching the pictures that the homeowner sent us as close as we possibly can. These upper cabinets and all of the built-ins and anything that's going to be close to the ceiling is going to get a 2-stage crown. The dimensions of their ceiling allowed us to have a good amount of space between the top of the cabinets and the ceiling. So the countertop template was happening really soon, so we kind of switched gears to get the island finished out, so we get the back panel on, kind of going through getting these nice little styles installed to kind of add just a little bit of character. I try not to go too crazy with the detail on the back of this island here. And now here is the countertop installation team. So they had a rather large overhang. I want to say it was like 21 inches, and the product that they picked out required that there would be some support bars installed. So that was what he was cutting out there. Going through getting that large countertop installed with the undermount sink, and then the big island, 9 foot by about 3.5 feet or so. Nice big space. Now he's going through putting those support bars underneath. After they had left, we were ready to get this custom oven cabinet in. It's just a single in-wall oven with a microwave installed, but they also wanted to add some custom drawers and storage, which you guys will have to see later. But the ease of use and having that RTA makes it really nice to make these custom things. So here is the piece that is going to allow the fridge to fill built in, kind of also a nailer strip for crown molding to get installed on later. So now all of the cabinets are installed, going through working on the crown. So like I mentioned, it is a 2-stage crown. So we just did a 1x that just goes straight up, kind of just a nice square piece that extends up from the upper cabinets
about the same depth as the doors, and then a really nice cove, traditional cove crown that goes through and wraps around everything and dies up into the ceiling. That window finally showed up, so pulled the plywood off, got that going so we could really start getting the waterproofing and sealed and insulated, all of that stuff prior to backsplash. Kind of helping each other out, going back and forth. You can see that piece of crown molding, first giant piece of crown molding getting installed right there. Any miters, we try to glue those with a CA glue and an activator just to keep those from splitting over time. Just really allows some more durability. We're coming through the home stretch. You can see getting doors and shelves installed. Going through, there's quite a few doors, quite a few shelves. All of the large pantry cabinets got rollout shelves, which is really great for storage, especially in those deep 24-inch cabinets. But you can see all of the detail going in on this crown molding, getting installed there on the island. Just trial and error. Of course, this ceiling is as flat as we could make it, but it's not perfect. So in order to get that crown molding to mesh with the ceiling nice, to have those good reveals, create a line that can then be caulked and painted and touched up later was really crucial. I think we nailed it on this one. Now just that last little bit of crown on that left upper cabinet is getting built and getting installed. You can see the laser that came out so that we could make sure everything was the right height. All right, now that all of the cabinets and stuff are installed, we moved on to tile. So there are two aspects of this project that got tile. It was this bathroom that was a change order I mentioned previously, and then of course later the backsplash will go in. They chose a white hexagon mosaic to go in on the floor here. They wanted something that would have a little bit of grip. They did not want big, large format tiles that could get slippery when it got wet. This is the main area everyone comes in from swimming in the pool outside. So of course kids and everybody, when they're done swimming, they're going to be wet, and this is where they would come in to dry off, change. You can see there's a shower right there. They can rinse off real quick, get the pool water and stuff. So choosing a tile, they wanted to make sure they had something small that had lots of grout lines in order to allow for some grip while they were walking around. I thought that was a great idea. They do go with like a darker neutral grout, so as far as cleaning and those types of things, it's not going to be too difficult. So yeah, just going through here, getting the layout started, and then you mix the mud up and just run with it. The mosaic is nice. If there's a piece that's a little bit complicated, you just cut out one of those little hexagons, get the full sheets in, and then you can come back later and fill in pieces. Yes, after watching this video, we did notice we did not pull the stickers. Because of the environment and where this is at, I'm not too worried about the adhesive. I think if this was inside of a shower, we could potentially have a little bit more issues, but on the floor, I'm not too worried about it at this point. I do wish we would have peeled those stickers off though. Using spacers, getting everything lined up nice and straight, and then of course it dried overnight, going through just prepping, cleaning, getting any thin set that came up through the cracks, making sure all of the pieces are installed well, nice and tight, no loose pieces, and then grout. Mix up a nice grout. We really like to use Prism. Prism is a product that we've been using for a long time, has a nice setup time, has resin inside of it so it does dry nice and hard. Often we will still seal the grout, but this product does not require any sealing. Just mixing all through, getting it nice pushed into the cracks. We didn't do any type of schluter, any reveal up to the hardwood. Just a nice little grout line. We do use a silicone product there. And now moving on to the backsplash. They just wanted to go with a very traditional, simple white subway style backsplash. Started over here in what we eventually call this like the coffee bar area. Got the layout and everything we wanted to from that, and then work our way over. In this situation, we try really hard to allow grout lines to be centered in major areas. So the sink faucet and the stove are the two major considerations where there is some symmetry, right? We tried to make the cabinets all be symmetrical around the large window that is there. And of course, the vent hood with those upper cabinets, we wanted to make sure there was symmetry there. So we do our best to try to line up the grout lines. In this case, it worked out perfectly. We were able to have a grout line central to the vent hood and central to the faucet. Really, and if we can, we like to do tile on the entire back wall there, up and around the window. They do go with a white grout. They wanted to have a slight bit of texture, but they did not want the tile to be a focal piece. They really wanted the beautiful countertops that they had chose to stand out a little bit more. So they just went with an off-white grout, again, just to add some of that texture. We used a nice white schluter, again, to kind of wrap everything all up. So here we are getting things cleaned up. We are all done with this project. Just some finishing touches, cabinet handles, light fixtures, those types of finishing details. But the X board in this case is ready to get pulled up. We love this product. It covers and protects the floor really well from scratches and dings and dents, and of course all the dirt and sand. But then when we're all done, we can just easily roll it all up, go ahead and just throw that in the dump trailer.
Hey guys, Zach here with Zen Construction, bringing you a final walkthrough on this incredible main floor and kitchen remodel that we just finished up with. Just like we always do, I want to show you pictures of what it looked like before, what it looked like when we first got here, so then you can really get a feel for the before and after and what we got done. So as you guys can see, this house was a little bit historic, I would say. I think there were some features of it that were really great. We really wanted to do everything we could to elevate this home, bring it into the modern era. The big thing that we really wanted to focus on was the feel of it. It felt very dark. The ceilings were very textured, very heavy, so we wanted to make sure everything was airy, lighter colors, a lot more bright things going on in here. So one of the first things we did in order to do that was in order to have more flow, more light, we made this opening significantly wider. We lined it up with this window in here so you can feels like there's a lot more going on. The hardwood was one of our favorite parts of this house, guys. It was beautiful. We had it all sanded and refinished where they had it existing in the dining room and in the living room. But we also brought it through the rest of the main floor. There's actually used to be a seam here. You can't even tell. They matched it perfectly. I think it turned out really nice. Everywhere in the entire main floor got all new trim and then paint on the walls, ceilings, and all the doors, all the fixtures, all the trim got all new paint everywhere. One of the changes that we had throughout the project was we ended up redoing this bathroom as well. So all new tile on the floor, all new paint everywhere, trim everywhere. I think it turned out really nice. We'll work our way into the secondary living room. Again, more hardwood coming through here. At one point in time, guys, they had 5 different types of flooring on this main floor. It looked a little bit chaotic. So now we have a lot more cohesiveness. It flows really well. As you can see everywhere in the house, we got rid of all that heavy stomp texture. The flat ceiling looks really, really nice. So as we move into kind of a part 2 on this one, guys, the next part I want to talk about is the kitchen. So same kind of thing. I want to show you some of the pictures of what it looked like before real quick. So as you guys could see, again, it felt super dark, a little bit cramped, had a peninsula, the wall going through there, the soffit made everything feel really, really cramped and small. So now that we're all done, guys, go ahead and check this thing out. So as you guys can see, this kitchen turned out incredible. I think the homeowner made some really incredible choices. Of course, with our own personal touch, everything turned out beautiful. So we kept the storage in wall over here. We're able to add a microwave oven. Turned out really nice. We actually have 2 pantry cabinets with full soft closed drawers that come all the way out. One of the things that the homeowner was a little bit worried about was having the microwave over here, not having a place to stir their hot dishes. So this is a custom feature that we built with a piece of butcher block on a soft closed drawer slide so they can pull their dishes out, stir them up. There's also more storage in here through the middle. I think it turned out really cool. Work our way this way. Again, another pantry cabinet with tons of storage. And then one of the coolest features of this kitchen, guys, is this massive fridge. This thing is 4 foot wide, 7.5 feet tall, but it's only 24 inches deep. So it allowed for a ton more space, had a smaller footprint. They have a family of 5 and the kids have friends over all the time. So really want to make sure they had as much storage for food as they could. Over here is the coffee bar. They actually have a really nice espresso machine, so it's super important for them to have a space in order to make coffee. The homeowner is actually just here. He said coffee down below, booze goes up on top, which I thought was pretty cool. We'll work our way in through here. We love this vent hood. We spent a ton of time on this. This thing turned out beautiful. It's completely custom built. We did not buy this. We built this with our own 2 hands. It turned out beautiful. Even more storage over here, under cabinet lighting, backsplash, again, more appliances. Throughout here, we got a cabinet pull-out for the garbage cans. Turned out really cool. We don't like having shelves down below, so again, more storage for there. This is really cool. It's called a cooking center. It actually has a really big drawer for some of those smaller appliances. Different things you can use for baking, cooking, and things like that. It's more storage on this side for brushes, sponges, those types of things. And then this thing's pretty cool. So they do a lot of baking and cooking. This is actually a KitchenAid storage. Again, more butcher block that matches everywhere else. This is now a dedicated space for a mixer, which is pretty hard to store and pretty hard to find. This island turned out incredible. Very big, it's almost 10 feet wide. New light fixtures all over the place, makes it feel huge, airy. Light fixtures over the sink. Huge new window. This thing is really cool. One of the big things I really enjoy is being able to look out, see the pool, see their kids. This actually opens up too, so they can have more airflow and things that come through here. Yeah, guys, this kitchen and this entire main floor turned out beautiful. We're really, really proud of this one. The homeowners were so fun to work with. They had incredible choices and decisions and things that they made, and they were great to work with throughout. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really enjoyed this one. We're really proud of it, like I said. So thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you later.